these are my ocean-themed learning centers. So I did mine with math, language arts, social studies, and science, and I had this targeted for 5 and 6-year-olds. So we'll start with math. I did it's the fingerprint fish chart. So I just put it into 10 different blocks, and then each one is labeled 1 to 10. So then what they would do is you put washable paint on the paper plate, and then they would dip their fingers in it, and then for each box, however many it says, that's however many fingerprints they'd put. So I left the first one blank just to do a little demonstration for it. So this is acrylic paint. Obviously, I would use washable paint in a classroom, but I'm using what I got. So I just put it on my finger, and then I just do the one, just a dot like that, and then once it dries, it's drying now, I go in with a Sharpie or in the classroom again, a washable marker, and then just do a dot, a smile, and 2 little fins on the back. And then they can go through and count them all at the end just to work on their counting skills. So that is for math. Next, for language arts, I decided to do a picture book with different sea animals in it, so they would identify the animals and then write them in. So I filled them in just for time's sake, but it would be I am a blank, so I have a jellyfish, and then a seahorse, then I have a shark, a shark, a starfish, a fish, and then a turtle. And then obviously after they write down what animal it is, they would go in and color it and decorate it however they wanted to do. So that was language arts. Next, for social studies, I decided to do this chart. This has animals categorized into land, air, and sea. I taped most of them on just, again, for time's sake, but I left 3 out just to do a little demonstration. So I have a turtle, an elephant, and a bee. So the bee is an air one. So I'm going to put that under air, which is this middle column here. Again, in a classroom I would use like glue sticks, but I didn't have any of that. So next is the turtle. So that's going to go under the sea animals, which is this far right column here. And then finally is the elephant, and then that would be the last land one. I chose this for social studies because it's just identifying the different animals across the planet and the environments that they belong in, so they can identify the animals and then think, what does this animal do? And that's where they would put them. So this is my social studies one. And then last is science, and I thought this one was the coolest, and I was really excited for this. So this is to show the different levels of the ocean. So for this, in a classroom I would use a plastic water bottle because you'll see that they're going to shake it eventually. I didn't have any of those, so I'm just going to use a clear cup, but I'm not going to shake it around or anything. But so for this, for the water bottle, you would dump out half of the water. I probably already have them pre-filled. So yeah, you dump out half the water and then add just a drop of food coloring, because when I tried it a couple times, I noticed that more than a drop, it was too dark, and you'll see why again in a minute, but I think this was just enough. So then for this, you'd fill the rest up with vegetable oil. Again, in a classroom, I wouldn't come in with a big tub of vegetable oil and pass it around. I would put it in squeezy bottles. I didn't have any of that either. So you just fill the rest of the water bottle with vegetable oil, canola oil, fill it up to the top, and then you see it starts to separate like that, and then you would let them shake it around however much they wanted to. But for this, I'm just going to stir it, and when you stir it, it goes together, but then once you stop, it starts to like separate from like really dark to like kind of lighter in the middle. Can't really tell on camera, but it's there, I promise there, it's like in the middle, you can see it now. And then, to the lightest at the top, so for this they would take a Sharpie or a different permanent marker and write on the water bottle from the darkest to the lightest zone. So the darkest zone would be the midnight zone, and then the middle zone would be called the midnight zone, and the twilight zone, I mean. And then the top layer would be the sunlight zone. So then that's showing like the different levels of the ocean and all that. So that's for the science one. That's more of like the hands-on kind of part. So yeah, those are my centers for an ocean themed unit.